Welcome to Biz Dev Live. This is the Biz D with the C. I'm so excited to bring you today's content. Today is all about controlling your brand. How are you making sure that the content that you're putting out there, whether that's a product, a service into the world, how are people searching for that? How are they recognizing? How are they talking about your brand? So I really want to get into the nitty gritty of all of the things that you're doing to control the conversation. Are you even a part of the conversation? We're going to get into all that and more right after the Biz Dev theme.
Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. This is business development, not even selling it. This is intelligent. If you watch it, I promise you benefit. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T.
Again, thank you for joining me with Biz Dev Live. I really appreciate you checking in. One of the things that I think is so interesting about social media, about what's going on in the world today in communication, is the idea of being a part of the conversation. And if you've listened to Gary Vaynerchuk or folks that talk on this topic of social media, you can choose to be a part of the conversation or choose to not be a part of the conversation. Now, what do I mean by that? That means, for your given category or product or service, for you as a person, if you're a speaker, presenter, coach, if you are out there in the world doing your work, and even if you work for a corporation, what is your personal brand? How are people talking about you? Do people remember you? This is something that people who have excelled in the personal branding space have really understood for a long time, writing books, doing things in this day and age, the blog posts, the things that elevate you and put you in the conversation. And so what does that mean, being a part of the conversation? Are you creating conversation? Are you controlling that conversation? I think we've seen examples out in the wild of a company not being able to control the conversation because a scandal happens. Maybe somebody has a misinterpretation of what the company or product or service is offering. Maybe you've experienced something like that. Maybe you got a poor Yelp review, right? That's how simple or easy or challenging this world of over communication can be. Yelp, I found, even within my business, Yelp was used as a tool, much more as a dagger than as some kind of sweet dangling carrot for folks, or thing that people wanted to just go to because they wanted to speak positively about my business. So I had to, with Toth Event Staffing, take an active approach to make sure that I was turning those positive commentary in terms of verbal words that I would hear in person or over the phone or over an email into a documented online activity. So those are one of the first ways for your business that you can sort of take an active approach to being a part of the conversation. Are you on Google My Business? So does your business pop up over on that right-hand part of the screen when people search for your business? All that takes is going to Google and making sure that your Google My Business page for your business is filled out. Address, website, pictures. One of the beautiful things that I've learned from being in mastery with Master Networks is from Sensei Michael Trithart about putting up lots of photos into Google My Business, because the way the algorithm works, so algorithm being the way that these social platforms, everything from Google to Facebook to LinkedIn to TikTok, the way these platforms work is there's certain things that elevate your status in the search rankings. And by putting a lot of photos into your business page on Google My Business, you're going to elevate the visibility of your brand. People are going to want to check it out more. People are going to see it more. So that's something that you can do that's relatively easy, relatively free. Obviously, you have to spend the time and the effort to create those photos, but you can post those to Google for free and it elevates your search rankings. So this is not a costly or expensive thing. And if you're in the hospitality industry like me or anything where photos are important, you're probably doing that as a part of your website and just a portfolio building piece, as you should anyways. Let's talk about, your personal, right? So for LinkedIn and things like that, take the opportunity to get a professional headshot when you have the opportunity. But before you have that opportunity on the low cost end, just take some high quality, fantastic photos with one of these beautiful, high quality cameras that are in your mobile device now. Get yourself with some good lighting so your face is well lit from above and below and behind so that there's no shadows. Take a nice, enjoyable, warm, non-forced smile. Try to smile with your eyes. Probably even more important than smiling with your teeth, because we know when we see a fake smile, to create that warm, endearing look. And make sure you put that up on your profiles. If you're a speaker, make sure that if you have a website, that it's easy to get to your bio and to your headshots. This is something, we're going to have Bryn Tillman on the show, and I'm looking forward to having a conversation around that with her LinkedIn piece, because this is something that can elevate your ability to produce and get results on a channel like LinkedIn by showcasing your professionalism and by controlling your brand that way, by understanding this is the place people are going to go to find out about me. This is the place people are going to go to grab my photo. I want them to use a specific photo or a specific set of photos. I want them to use a specific bio. You are controlling the conversation around you. In the social media space, and I really want to bring up the example of Roger Wakefield. Go into YouTube right now. If you're on YouTube, pause this video, open up another tab, and I want you to search for plumber, Plumber, plumber. And then you can even search plumbing. Under both of those search headings, Roger Wakefield is going to come up as number one result, if not his name, his videos, all there. And how did that happen for Roger Wakefield? It's interesting that I think he's got less than or around 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. When you think of YouTubers, famous YouTubers, there's YouTubers out there with millions. Talk about Will Smith or Tony Robbins or any of the big famous stars, and even some of the folks that have become famous on YouTube, like QTPie, I think his name is. These folks have millions of subscribers and are creating incredible income from YouTube. Roger Wakefield has 200,000 subscribers, and he's done that through the strength of just putting up videos, instructional stuff on plumbing, showing people how to do it. Small section of Texas that he lives in, that has helped build his business, promote his business, bring in more high dollar jobs for his business. And now he's the number one plumber on YouTube. And so he's actually at a place where he's making more income from YouTube and the things that YouTube brings in terms of marketing, sponsorship, that sort of thing, than the actual original plumbing business, which was significant. So you can do that for your business, for your specific niche. And I really encourage you to do so, because where at one time, and he talks about this, he was paying Google for ads. Now Google is paying him from YouTube money, monetization on the videos. So you can turn the whole marketing paradigm around so that these streaming platforms are actually paying for you. Now, one thing I'll note about this is, by creating videos on Facebook, which is really good for the algorithm to do native videos on those platforms, there isn't necessarily a monetization strategy beyond Facebook, because Facebook isn't going to pay you for likes and follows and that sort of thing. So YouTube is really smart to focus on in that respect as an addition to your business. But I've streamed this out on Facebook and YouTube because I know some people are watching on Facebook and some people are watching on YouTube, and I want to grow my support, and I want to control the brand. And now, if you go and look at BizDev Live on YouTube, search it, right? Go on there, search BizDev Live. It's just one video of mine after another. So you can see it working. And so going back to Toth Event Staffing, I like talking about business development. I love talking about mentorship. I like talking about hospitality, but not as much as business development. So I focused on that. But I know that for Toth Event Staffing, I got to follow my own advice and go do some videos that are all about event staffing, so that when people search for event staffing, because it's rare for people to put in the words Toth Event Staffing. Toth is not a brand name nationally for staffing, but I want to be that place like Roger Wakefield, where if you enter in event staffing, all my videos pop up. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to do more videos around event staffing. If you're an event staffing company, hey, that advice is free. You can quickly get to the top of those YouTube results if you get there before me. And this really is a merit-based game. Can you produce the content? Can you produce content that people want to watch? But more importantly, can you consistently produce content in your niche? In crowded markets and crowded places, you're going to have to do a better job. But that's just the same way marketing and advertising works across the spectrum. If you're in a place where there's a lot of competition, the ad revenue or ad dollars that you're going to have to pay to be top searched in that field is going to be higher. And the same way works with video creation. Excuse me, my throat is dry. So I really want you to focus on controlling the conversation. Do you own your brand domain? If you're early on in the process and you have put together a brand name for your company, put together a name for your company, did you go and search in, domain, GoDaddy.com, any one of the hosting pages? Did you search for the name of your business and make sure that you can own that domain? Or does somebody else already own that domain? You may want to rethink name your company if you really want to grab that space and own the search rankings around that name. And little tweaks can make a big difference. But especially if you want to be the number one plumber, I would suggest having plumber in your name, right? If you want to be the number one consultant or coach, having that in your name, so that when people search for that, you come up and you are the authority because you come up higher in the rankings. Do people email you at name@companyname.com, or do they email you at Gmail, AOL, Yahoo, business name at Yahoo? It's less professional, right? Think about in terms of your interactions and engagement. It costs between $149 and $6 a month to set up email with a vanity domain. You'll have to pay roughly about $10 if your domain is available to get a .com address per year. So you're talking about, all said and done, you're talking about $72 if you go with Google as your internet or email provider for your email address, and $10 for the domain name. You can create a free website that has Wix branding on it or some others branding on it, or you can pay roughly about $200 a year for something like Wix to have a domain hosted there. But do people see the name of your business in every interaction? So that's what I'm getting at. If it's business name at Yahoo, it's less professional. I don't know if you're going to be around tomorrow. It gives me a little bit more stability and a little bit more quality and satisfaction to deal with somebody that is name at businessname.com, like Cameron at totheventstaffing.com. You can find me there, and you know that a little bit more that this is not a fly by edge of the seat or fly by night operation, here today, gone tomorrow, boilerplate, right? So that can really help you, and it can make a big difference with your brand and your marketing and controlling that conversation about who you are and what you are. How are you promoting your brand with every sale? So if you're a physical brick and mortar location, does your receipt really have some marketing information on there? Most of the time, there's a way to put that information in there. So I really suggest that. Are you handing a business card that has some promotional information for other services that you offer? If you're dealing with folks online and over the internet, how are you creating little bits that make that experience more fun and exciting? There's so many things that you can do. You can do branded tissue paper if you're doing products and packaging online. You can do boxes that have your name and logo on them. You can do packing tape that has your name and logo on them. And you can include these things in the price of your product so that you've priced it out so you're still making a profit and you're branding yourself, which is the most important thing. Branding yourself and making people feel like they want to do business with you. They want to pick your service. It's not a commodity that they could get from anywhere, but it's really special. It's something amazing from you, from your company specifically. So, how are you promoting your brand with every single sale, with every single interaction? Down below on this video, you're going to see Cameron Toth, CEO, Toth Event Staffing. I have that on every video. Now, it's a little bit silly. You tuned in. My name is probably all over the place. But one of the things that I committed to with doing that is I'm doing a program on BizDev Live. And I have a business that currently makes me revenue because I'm not really making revenue from YouTube and not at that point yet. So what do I want to do? I want to make sure to advertise and make sure people know that I have this staffing company. So it's a little detail, but it's something that lets everybody know that, hey, this is a guy that runs a staffing company, Toth Event Staffing. If you're looking for waiters, bartenders, chefs in Westchester and NYC and Connecticut, get your staffing from Cameron Toth at Toth Event Staffing, right? So it's a little detail, but how are you promoting your brand with every interaction, with every sale, with every purchase? And with you watching this video, that's a sale, that's a view, that's a piece in the YouTube internet algorithm. I'm hoping that I'm providing you the value that you walk away with, that you really enjoy and you want to share. While we're talking about it, hit that like button, to mash the like button to get us, the YouTube algorithm, excited about this video so they'll share it with more people. This idea of providing value and giving you this template so that you can do this for yourself is what I'm all about. And the more people we can tell, hey, this is how you do it, the more I feel like I'm helping the world and the more I'm accomplishing both missions, right? I'm deeply passionate about education, and obviously I want this channel to do well. Bonus, is your brand built to scale? You do an excellent job. You're amazing. You're awesome. You provide a great service or product to your customer. How are you expanding on this? And this has been a big lesson coming into the pandemic, right? Toth Event Staffing, we have 130 part-time staff. We have $600,000 in sales annually. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. As we come into COVID, our sales are decimated because people aren't doing live events. What other offerings does Toth Event Staffing have in March of 2020? Nada. We don't sell furniture to beautiful houses that we work in. We don't sell training or pivoting tools to corporate brands. We don't do any of that, not yet. So there's no other revenue stream. So this is what I really want you to understand and focus about your brand. You want to be ready to focus and pivot at any time. You don't want, just like if you have a stock portfolio, you don't want any of your assets in more than 20% of your portfolio. You want to diversify. So with your business, as soon as you are possibly able, you want to diversify who your clients are. And, for Toth Event Staffing, in my defense, we have a great mix of private household clients that we send very niche staffing to do private home events. We had staff in corporate offices. We worked with caterers. We had a great diversity of clientele, but we offered one kind of service that specifically catered to live events. And as that went away, 100% of the services that we offer. So I challenge you to think creatively about your services. If you're doing amazingly well in the pandemic, you have something like a delivery service or online offering or sale of product that's doing well, taking that money and diversifying and doing some other things that are going to hit down the road is a great idea. Try things, fail, try again, so that you can diversify your revenue streams, automate things, get into some new stuff, have fun with it. But really having that diversity of revenue is going to be something that's going to be amazing for the business development of your company. I hope this was helpful. I'm excited to talk to you again tomorrow. We're bringing you Erica Moore from the Event Planner Expo 2020, fresh off of that experience. So we're going to hear her learnings, and I'm excited to share that and hear from her and learn from her as well. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. This is business development, not even selling it. This is intelligent. If you watch it, I promise you benefit. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T.
Have a great day. Go out.